NewsX World. One survivor has been found in the deadly crash of the Air India plane. This devastating air disaster occurred when Air India Flight AI171 en route to London Gatwick crashed shortly after takeoff from Ahmedabad's Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport. The Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner carrying 242 people lost signal within a minute of departure. It issued a mayday call but failed to respond further before crashing into a residential area in Meghani Nagar, hitting a doctor's hostel. Eyewitnesses described smoke-filled skies and scenes of panic as locals rushed to rescue survivors. One woman said her son jumped from a second-floor window to escape. Verified footage showed intense flames and rescue teams pulling out bodies. The flight carried 53 British nationals and 169 Indian nationals, 7 Portuguese nationals, and 1 Canadian national. All airport operations in Ahmedabad have been suspended. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi called the crash heartbreaking beyond words. Gatwick Airport and India's Aviation Ministry are in coordination of emergency support. Air India has activated a family helpline and is cooperating with investigators. The Air India CEO also said that investigations will take time. Global reactions continue to pour in following the deadly plane crash in Ahmedabad, India. World leaders from across the world have expressed their condolences on this fatal crash. Among those who expressed their condolences are U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. He said that he was heartbroken to hear about the tragic plane crash. Russian President Vladimir Putin, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, the President of the European Commission Ursula von der Leyen, French President Emmanuel Macron, Moldovan President Maia Sandu, and Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, Sri Lankan President Anura Kumara Dissanayake, UK's King Charles III, and Bangladesh's Chief Advisor Muhammad Yunus. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese are also among others who expressed their condolences. Now we have guests, retired Group Captain Dr. V.N. Jha, he's a former Indian Air Force officer. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to NewsX World. What more can you tell us about the current situation and what do we know as of now about this crash?
Asuma, very unfortunate. It is heart-wrenching for every person. My condolences with all the families who have apparently lost their near and dear. But there is a silver line also. We saw one passenger walking, though injured. I hope there are more such people who would have come out of the crash. But it is surely the first such tragic fatal accident that the Dreamliner 787 has seen it. Very pathetic, very gruesome indeed. But having said that, look, the Ahmedabad, as you mentioned about in your introduction, that flights have been cancelled. No, flights have resumed from the airport. There was nothing wrong with the airport. Airport didn't have any sort of contributions to this this particular crash. Airport is working normally. Many flights have taken off thereafter. So flights have resumed there. But it's a very tragic loss of the people, as many people we have lost in that. So as informations keep on coming, how many people have been saved or how many people are injured, that only your reporters will tell us. But there are few things which is evident to people who have been having the probing eyes into the aircraft accident. I have investigated about 7 fatal aircraft accidents, though of Indian Air Force, but we do know that what are the trend, what are the basics into the accident investigations. Usually, Asuma, as it happens, any fatal aircraft accident, there are plethora of events. It's a mosaic of the failures usually that takes place. It is seldom an isolated cause which is causing the aircraft accident. That is the first thing. Secondly, couple of clips of the aircraft on roll after takeoff and just before crash. It has emerged, and that's very vital for any investigator to see. What we can make out here that initial takeoff roll was appears to be normal. Just around V1 or after the aircraft has started taking off, the acceleration part, we felt it is slightly sluggish. Aircraft has climbed to some altitude, but the attitude of climb as it persists continues thereafter in the acceleration. That is what I can see is missing. That means engine thrust was slightly below par immediately after takeoff or even at the time of takeoff. Since the V1 call, that for the unsticking call would have been already given by the first officer, the pilot has taken off the aircraft. Now, having taken off and the aircraft is unable to continue climb, it has started coming down. Pilot has nothing to do there. I mean, there's hardly anything that he can do. If both engine have lost its thrust, which is very, very unusual, why simultaneous loss of thrust should be in both engines, but it has happened. Thereafter, he can do nothing. He doesn't have the length of the runway where he can come back for the landing. He's out of the threshold of the runway, and then he has gone into the civil area, in the inhabitation area. And when aircraft is coming for crash landing, we can see the pilot is in control of the aircraft. Though aircraft is slowing down, it has not yet stalled. We can see the nose up of the aircraft. That is the attitude usually we keep before landing. So desperately, pilot is possibly looking for some flat piece of land where he can make a landing. He was coming down, although that is the time the aircraft has struck a hostel, a medical college hospital, hostel, and then thereafter the entire crash accidents has happened. It is inevitable thereafter. So it is very unfortunate that all this has happened, and this has happened for the first time in the Dreamliner. So people have to look at it, that what is that particular thing, what could have caused both engine thrust to have been dwindling down, winding down simultaneously. This will be a topic of accidents, though when we do the aircraft accident investigation, we keep every bit of possibilities on our table. We don't discard anything. Everything will be looked into. As I told you, it is usually a mosaic of the events. Many things come together in the aircraft accident, especially the fatal ones. So everything will be looked into, and then only the story will come into the picture. There is one eyewitness right now wherein the air traffic control is telling you that pilot has given a mayday call. That means the pilot has felt that he can't pursue the flight further. He is going for the crash landing. Secondly, cockpit voice recorder, CVR, what we call it, and the black box will be available, I think, by today itself or tomorrow sometime it will be found out. That will tell you a lot of pictures, what usually has happened. But then the technical malfunction seems to be, I don't want to prompt it, I don't want to speculate, but the loss of thrust that has happened. And thereafter, pilot is trying to find a small piece of land where can he crash land the aircraft in the best possible attitude that can save the lives, which has not finally happened because the aircraft has hit a building and then there was no chance for the aircraft to make a normal touchdown. So it is very unfortunate, Asuma.
And Dr. Jha, building on this should India establish a fully independent air accident investigation authority like the ones in the US or UK?
Oh, yes, we already have it in place. There is an aircraft accident investigation board at New Delhi. We already have it. And I told you I have done 7 aircraft accident investigations in the Air Force. There are many other accident investigations has taken place, and including the Mangalore, that was the last aircraft accident investigation. There is already a established body here, so there is nothing new to be looked into it. And these investigations are by and large absolutely impartial, transparent. Anyone can have a look into it, though it is confidential in a way that we don't make everything public onto the social platform or anything. It goes into a particular system. But then that body of aircraft investigation is already in place here. It is in situ.
And thank you very much, Dr. Jha. He's a former Indian Air Force officer. For